Kinley, and we're burning daylight. Welcome to Burnin' Daylight, the only podcast for the working cowboy. Well, welcome back, Daylight Burners, and fellow listeners and fellow cowboys from you can't see him on the road. Tuffy's back. We're shooting the shit, and we've got a topic that was brought to Tuffy, so we figured we'd cover it tonight. I thought it was a good jumping off point since we're I don't know about y'all up there, but like everybody's kind of right in that transition period from winter to spring work, and so like there's a few people that are branding already. There's a lot. Most people are still kind of on the tail end of calving or like starting calving, just depending on how far north you go. But I guess Tuffy, welcome back. And what was the exact kind of topic that was framed to you? I mean, this was kind of your
I just had
idea.
a young kid. I had a young kid ask me, and I've had a few of them ask me, you know, what I pack on a daily basis, like what I don't leave the house without.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can only type out a question so many times. So, you know, let's just address it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and I assuming since it was a young kid, you also mentioned something about like how to look professional or be professional, and that's a good question as well. So I guess you know, there are certain things. It doesn't matter if I'm working or not, or if I'm just like, if I'm leaving the house, yeah, there has to be there's a handful of things that I have like on my person at all. So it's wallet, cell phone, usually earbuds, and a lighter and a knife. Like that's kind of what I have in my pockets at all times. Chew.
Yeah.
And chew.
Yeah, like I don't pack my wallet. My wallet just stays in the truck most of the time because I hardly get to fucking town. But I mean, chew, 2 knives, a tally book, my dog whistle, and sunglasses.
Yeah, sunglasses is good. If I'm wearing contacts, I'm packing sunglasses. It's weird how just even if I don't wear my contacts to work, like, and I just wear my glasses, the sun can be bright as hell, but I don't notice it as bad with my glasses. But if I'm wearing contacts, I mean, it seems like the whole world just gets extremely bright. So I gotta have some shades on, and
I can't leave the house without them. Like I wear my sunglasses every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's it's very rare that I don't wear sunglasses, but I don't notice the brightness near as bad when I'm just wearing my glasses. It's I don't know what the deal is there, but yeah, I gotta have sunglasses on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get up here, and I mean, just like last week, we had a real fresh snow. Got 6 inches of snow, and then the next day it was sunny and bright, and that fresh white snow that's out there, like you can barely walk around outside without being blinded. So you need a good pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, that's true. I'm typically not in places where we have that much snow, and it doesn't stick. Usually, when we do have that much snow, it doesn't stick around long enough to notice. But this winter was a little different, and yeah, it's one of those days like when it's just cold but bright and sunny. Like it's sunny as hell, but it's just still cold, and so nothing melts, and you just get that glare off the snow.
Yeah. And if you don't have your sunglasses, like that headache you'll have at the end of the day is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's it gets pretty gnarly. Luckily, like I said, I've never lived where that happens on a regular basis. This was kind of a one-off winter, you know, kind of a drought breaker, but yeah, we typically don't have snow around for that long in the winter, so I pack my wallet with me just because I go by the store right on the way to work. So if I need something, chew, beer, whatever, pick something up for supper, I just right there's a little. It's like a big small town convenience store. It's got a little bit of everything there.
Got your essentials, right?
Yeah, I got a little grill there. The flat top, so they'll make a burger and stuff there. And then there's you got it's like a big convenience store, but it's still just real small. Like it's got all the stuff that like a big one of like kind of a truck stop has. It's minus the all the like the trucker hardware shit, but like your groceries, your deodorant, whatever. They got a little bit of everything, but it's just a small store, and that's right on the way to work. So I keep my wallet with me for that, and I typically only carry one knife, but I have knives laying around everywhere. So I typically have one within reach if I forget a knife, but I very rarely don't have this fella on my belt. So
yeah, I got a straight blade I pack on me every day, and it's just like my emergency knife. Like if I gotta cut a rope, I know that son of a bitch is always sharp.
Yeah, there you go.
And I don't pull it out too much, but I carry just like a little trapper knife on me. Where if I gotta cut some twines or I gotta abuse a knife, I'd way rather abuse that one than my good one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm one of the worst about this because you're supposed to always have a sharp knife, and I always every time I get a knife, I intend that one to that one's gonna stay sharp, just like you're saying. But then next thing you know, you need to cut some twine and fuck, and then it just goes downhill from there. And then so like it's 50-50 whether I have a sharp knife on me. I will have a knife on me, but it's debatable whether it's sharp or not.
Yeah. And like now all my knives I get, like I got a buddy just down the road, he builds them for me now, and they come built with the needle notch in them.
Nice. That's handy. I don't have one of those, but I like that a lot.
Yeah. I like it. I use it all the time. And then I carry a leather tally book with me everywhere I go. Like I don't go anywhere without that tally book.
Yeah. I don't carry a tally book much because I don't have a ton of need for it with I mean I carry a pin on my shirt pocket or vest pocket all the time. That's probably the thing I feel the most naked without if I don't have a pin, is because I'm always writing something down, like, and we have a day sheet every morning that we go, and I fold it in thirds and then stick it in my pocket, and that's kind of my notepad for the day. Unless we have like when we get a big run of cattle, I'll keep a little tally book so I can keep my cattle straight. When you get a big slug all at once, it takes you a week or so before you get your cattle situated and right, and you remember you're at that point where you don't need to look at something to know where they go. Like once you get them settled in your head, then I'll go back to just using my day sheet. But any like I use the calendar or notes on my phone a lot to like, especially if we got something like how many loads going out next week or whatever, I'll make a note of it in my phone. And and so it either shows up on the calendar or it'll like send me a little reminder. And but if I was when I was cabbing, I was working outside, I had a tally book all the time, just like the red herd book.
Yeah. I think they're so handy to have, especially if you're a new guy coming onto a career. If you're just hiring on somewhere, it's like, I think it looks better if you use a tally book than your phone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
it's just me,
No,
it's just my preference.
I guess it's been so long since I've been on the been like the new guy on an outfit that I don't even think of it that way just because my boss expects me to have the phone on me, all the time, and so for me it's easier that way. But as a new kid, yeah, you're absolutely right. It looks better with a tally book or something like I said. You even if you don't have the tally book, it rather than making a note of it in your phone, like it looks better to write it on your day sheet, write in your tally book, whatever. Like
Yeah.
to make a physical note of it. I know you're doing the same thing with your phone, but yeah, there still are some people that are old school, and also it's if you're a new guy and you're kind of low man on the totem pole, there's probably not a whole lot of need for you to have that phone. Anyways, I mean, but we all have them, so it looks better as a
Yeah.
new guy for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think like, young guys working under me, like we got a young guy that kind of helps out here on the weekends. And I just gave him an old kind of half used up book and I said, pack this around and just write your numbers and write what they tell you to do instead of
Yep.
because you look like a damn idiot standing up on a fence trying to send a text out to one of the bosses, even though you're trying to text the boss to
Yeah.
remember what pen you're going to. If you wrote it down, you wouldn't have to remember it.
Yeah. And that's where like I said, I use my day sheet all the time. I can reference back to it. I know what we got going on. We got the pins going out. We got pins coming in. We got moves going here. Like it's all there. And then also for like just the one-off stuff that needs to be done. Sometimes if it's not written down, I might forget that. So it's that like yeah. So if you don't have a day sheet, write it down yourself, and that way you can always reference back to it. And for me, like doctor and cattle, I would way rather. It's so much easier to write it down than it is to type it in your phone. When you're writing them down,
Yeah.
it
And
really
what I found in the past with me with my tally books is it saved my ass a few times. A boss is mad at you under, the count was wrong a couple like 2 weeks ago and whatever pen
mm-hmm,
or whatever is going on. When you pull your tally book out and say, no, this is what we all counted.
mm-hmm.
I'm keeping track.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and I
that's
mean it's just the little things, right, that go a long ways in a boss's eyes if you just kind of want to be handy and want to be useful.
well, and it's good to keep track of your shit. It's like I said, you either have a really good memory or write that shit down. Um,
Yeah, and my memory, that's why I got to write everything down because my memory
yeah,
sucks. You'll tell me something and I'll forget it. Or,
yeah,
5-year-old me will kick in. You'll be telling me something. I'd be like, oh, shiny. What is
yeah.
that?
And then say you don't have a pin on you or something. That's when make a note of it in your phone.
Yeah,
It just it that at that point I don't care what it makes you look like at the time if it's there in your phone and it's something you can refer back to.
yeah,
Um,
oh, exactly.
it's better to look bad for a short amount of time and have something on record.
Yeah,
Like and it's not always a cover your ass deal. It's to like sometimes people just misremember shit too, and it's good to have that like on record, and that's I mean
well, I mean, you look at the feedlot deal and, if the feedlot owns outside cattle like we do, there's a lot happening every day.
yeah,
Cattle coming in, cattle leaving, cows to
mm-hmm,
check. Um, Forget about stuff, right? I'm gonna go do this, and then somebody boss goes, oh, we need you over here. You
yeah,
better go get this done right now. So if you just make a little note of it in your phone or in your tally book, you'll remember about it. You go to write something down and go, oh shit, yeah, I gotta go get that done yet.
and the smaller the outfit you work for on the feedlot, like the more likely you're gonna need to write shit down because they don't have these protocols in place like the larger outfits do, where it's more it's not a fly by night, but it's a very much like we're going in a general direction today. And then you might
Yeah,
have like the ship changes on the fly. The smaller the the smaller the outfit you work for. And and so it's good to get in a habit of just writing that down. Even on the big outfits where it's all kind of like pre-planned. Um I don't know, it's just a good habit of writing shit down because you can always refer back to it. And writing down preferably like if that's only if you can keep track of where your shit is. So like if it's in your tally book, fine. If you're writing it on scraps of paper, you gotta centralize it all at some point, and that's whether it's your phone, your tally book, whatever. As long as you're keeping a good record and like making a note of stuff, that's a good thing.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
And just little tools, like just a couple little things. Like I pack a little pry bar around with me in my tally book. It's a little pry bar. I got a needle notch on it, a bottle opener, and a little pry bar. And kind of thought it was stupid when I first seen one, and then I kind of got a wanting one. And the guy was gonna build a bunch of them this spring. I just didn't want to wait till spring to buy one, so I just went ahead and made my own. And the idea was cool, right? And then I built one, and wow, this might be kind of cool. This might work, might not. But man, like talk about frozen water bowls. And you step off your horse, and you got nothing to pry that lid open with.
Yeah.
Having a little pry bar on you in your tally book or in your shirt pocket or wherever you want to carry it is handy.
I bet. Yeah, because there's a lot of times I'll stick a flat blade screwdriver in my bag when I go along with me in the winter if you gotta pry up the water tank lid or something. It's yeah, or just like snaps on gates too. Like sometimes you just gotta like bang them a little bit to break the ice, but you don't want to bang your finger too, and like just having something like that just to like chip ice too is handy.
It is. Like it's a small tool, you wouldn't think it would be so handy, but then you get using it and it just comes into one of them little things you just don't leave the house without.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I'll have to look into one of those. I carry I used to carry a straight blade knife, but now I carry this lock back and I like it because it's just a good beat around knife. Like you can pry shit with it. It's pretty easy to sharpen. I just use one of those little quick sharpeners, and I just it's not super sharp, but like it's never real far from being pretty damn sharp. And it's just a good beat around knife, and I pry shit with that. But there's sometimes where like, yeah, you need an actual like just a little pry bar.
Yeah, like my little pry bar I pack, just nothing fancy, right? Just a little piece of leather on it. Nothing fancy. Works to beat hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet so. I bet that's handier and shit.
Just keep it in your tally book. I keep mine just folded in my tally book, and it's always there.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty handy tool, it sounds like. Yeah, outside of that, I try to not put too much stuff in my pockets because your jeans wear out faster the more shit you got in your pockets. And I can't put shit in my back pocket either. Like it throws my hips out and I'm sore all the fucking time. So I keep my back pockets empty, but the more shit you put in your front pockets, the quicker your jeans wear out.
Yeah. And, yeah, if I can't put it in my vest pocket or a jacket pocket or my shirt pocket, I'm probably not gonna pack it with me.
Yeah. That's where I love a good vest. Like we were talking the other day, just like good pocket. I mean, all the vests nowadays have pockets everywhere, but like it seems like they're never in the right spot. I just like the good double breasted and the good two, they're almost like a hoodie pocket. Like when you can put your whole hand in them from the side instead of, from the top. You want them. I like the pockets from the side.
I do too, because it holds better. Like you can put whatever in your pocket. A pocket from the top, it seems like when you put something in it and you get riding, that shit'll work its way to the top, and then all of a sudden it's gone forever.
It's those top, the ones where you put your hands in from the top, those were designed by the bosses, so they don't want you. It's uncomfortable as shit to put your hands in there, so you're always busy with your hands. Those sneaky sons of bitches. I guarantee you, those were designed by a boss.
Yeah, but a good blade is so handy to have.
Yep. Yeah, it really is. Like they should be sharp all the time, but at least halfway sharp. Like, there's nothing worse than just a dull fucking knife. Like it's it's just a little bit better than a brick.
Yeah. Yeah, like the knife I pack that I rarely use, like this is a knife I pack.
Yeah.
And it's got your needle notch there. Handy freaking thing.
Yeah. That I've seen I'm starting to see those around a bunch. I've never had one of my own, but I've seen them around, and I could see how that'd be really, really handy.
Because I hate packing. I know a lot of guys that wear a Leatherman on it, and I hate packing a Leatherman. I absolutely hate it. Like,
yeah, I'm not a fan either. I love the tool, but I hate carrying one.
Yeah. So, you're out doctoring by yourself, treating calves, doing whatever you're doing, doctoring on the pasture. And these syringes we use, they're not the disposable ones. So you get a needle stuck on a syringe and you got nothing to get it off with.
Yeah, that shit happens all the time when you're processing too, when you got the automatic guns. Like yeah, it's a lot handier than having pliers, It's if you're carrying pliers on your belt, you're a farmer.
Yeah, exactly. And I just got a little pink, yes, it's pink trapper knife in my pocket, and I bought it pink for a reason too.
I used to buy hot pink halters and lead ropes in the hopes that they wouldn't get stolen. They still got fucking stolen,
I didn't buy it for the reason of it getting stolen. Like, if you drop it in the straw or something like that, like, you got a bright color to look for, right?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's why I don't get, like, if I have an option on my phones, I get a blue colored one because it sticks out a lot more than the black ones when it hits the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit like that is I've never had a pink knife, but I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it. Whatever works, man.
Oh, exactly. And that's my abusing knife.
Yeah. I when I'm working outside, I'll usually have a pair of More Maker pliers on my back cinch. And I like it's pretty handy to have the claw on your fence and pliers, but I work better with the ones without the claw. Like, I'm more efficient with it, but when you have the claw, it's handy when you need it.
No, it is. And I get an old, like, framing hammer or an old steel hammer, ball peen hammer, and I cut it off. I cut the head off, and then I weld it to the fencing pliers, so I got a bigger head on my fencing pliers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen what do they call them, like the plammer. They seem like they're pretty shitty.
Yeah, the ones I bought a few store-bought ones, and they've been real shitty. Just go out and buy yourself a good set of crescent fence pliers and just weld your own hammer onto them, and it's as good as anything, right?
Yeah. You get More Maker pliers up in that neck of the woods, or?
No, I mean, you can order them online and stuff, but
yeah, they're pretty nice. Or at least they used to be. I haven't bought a pair in a while, but yeah, I got mine right here.
Yeah,
they're I don't know. They I guess I don't know what they're like anymore, but when I was the last pair I bought, they're sure pretty damn good.
Well, yeah. you get what you pay for, right? If you buy shitty Craftsman or like knockoff shit, it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, for the most part. And there's times where, yeah, it's good to just have like a shitty pair of pliers laying around, but because they're better than nothing. But yeah, if you're
like here, we throw. There's a set of shitty fencing pliers in every side by side and every little toolbox on every quad here.
I've got a shitty pair of pliers in every in the door of every pickup too. Just whether and theirs are just like regular slip joint pliers, but just like a shitty pair of pliers is better than no pair of pliers.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then just you never know when you might need them. But like I said, if you carry them on your belt, you're a fucking farmer.
Yep.
So have them at arm's length or hanging off your saddle.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I just got I bought another cannel bag. I hadn't had any bags on my saddle for a while. Haven't needed them being the feedlot, but there was a lot of times this winter where it'd been handy to have them just a doctor in the pen. And just carry the medicine with me. And so I bought a cannel bag, and that's about the handiest, like most versatile thing you can hang on your saddle to carry shit is just a little cannel bag.
Yeah.
Like if you're doctoring a lot, the medicine bags are really fucking handy, but I imagine they're a bitch to make. That's why they cost so damn much. But just for like everyday type of deal, I like that cannel bag.
Yeah, I got a medicine bag on my saddle.
Yeah.
This is the first winter I've run it just because I'm in the feedlot, right? It's handy to always have my drugs with me. And of course, on the pasture, like where I was for the last 6 years, yeah, we needed drugs on the pasture, but I made a boot bag, a bag that you just tie onto the side of your saddle, and then an old leather boot that slid down in it. And when we doctored something, I just pull that boot bag out and walk right up to the animal. And there was no walking back and forth. You just trade cow right there on the ground.
Yeah.
But now when we're using smaller doses here in the feedlot, right? Well, I don't need to pack a big bottle with me. Just drop from my saddle. Way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's those boot bags are handy too. Yeah, and there's some of those medicine bags that the guys make are just look at it and like, that's really fucking handy. Like that's really cool. But I where we run all of ours through the chute, I mean, we don't doctor too many in the pen. And it's not that we can't, but we have like 5-6 different owners, so it's just easier to run them all through the chute, and then everything gets entered into the main system right there. So we but there are times where we doctor in the pen, and and those medicine bags would be handy. But for my purposes, what I need, like I just, a cannel bag works out just that's about right for me.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you can go too far, right? I've seen guys go too far where they just have way too much shit on their saddle.
Yep. Yeah, I had a set of bags when I was over in Kansas, and we were doing that confined cow calf deal, and we were doctoring so many fucking calves, and we were also doing like some research type shit, so we had who knows how many different medicines. We had all of our vaccines and shit to process, newborn calves, and goddamn, throwing that shit up on your horse was, I mean, you had to be kind of a He-Man to do that shit, and it's like, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah. Yeah, like some guys, you just go, wow, like you're planning on doing something today.
Yeah.
With the amount of shit you have hanging on your saddle.
I know, and you're just like, man, there's really not too much need to have a spot for like 5 different bottles on your on your medicine bag. Like you shouldn't really be using that many different medicines all in one. I mean, that's a lot of medicines for me, and I'm in the feedlot, you know, like
Yeah.
we pack around about 8 different medicines, but we have 2 different treatment protocols and a lot more cattle than most guys ride every day. And it's like, 5 if I use 5 different drugs in a given day, like that's a we saw a bunch of weird shit that day. You know,
Yeah.
we're normally like 3 different drugs that we use every day.
Yeah. Things are happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's normally it's like Mycotil, norfinical and vitamin C.
Yeah.
If we have any of our pregnant cattle, we'll use a different drug or and then like foot rot, something different. But uh yeah, we're there's not carrying like 5 6 different bottles on your saddle is just it's kind of dumb. You're packing all around a lot of money's worth of medicine that is just waiting to be broken, spilt all over the all over the place, you know.
Yeah. Well, not
So
even medicine, like just some of the shit you see guys packing around.
yeah, I of course in the feedlot I don't unless it looks like it's gonna rain
Hold
first
on
thing.
here, Matt. My fucking nose with this weather
Uh
change is starting to fucking bleed again.
oh, Tuffy's had too much cocoa this winter.
Well,
He's
it'll
really
happen.
he really got into it this year. Um, no, I don't where I'm not making a big circle. I don't typically put a slicker on my saddle, but if I was leaving and I wasn't going to be close back to the trailer or headquarters or wherever you're riding out from, and you're going to be gone all day, I'll put a slicker on. But where I'm in the feedlot and it's not a very big feedlot, I'm not very far from the barn where I can trot back real quick and get a slicker if I need it. But if it looks like it's gonna have some weather, I'll put it on first thing in the morning and just tie it
Yeah.
on the back there. But um I know a lot of guys pack a pistol or something. I don't have much use for it for a pistol, but I'm also feedlot too. There's just I keep a rifle in the pickup for coyotes and shit, but I don't carry a pistol with me very often. But I don't have much of a use for it.
Well, we're not even allowed to have pistols up here now. They're strictly
That's right.
100% illegal, so that's not even a issue for us because we're just not allowed to have them.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's you guys' president's so gay.
Yeah, he is.
He is so gay. Um, yeah, I other than that, I pack my rope. I've never used a quirt much at all, so I don't pack one of
I've
those on my
rode with the
saddle.
quirt. I've rode with the quirt quite a bit, but you know, riding with the quirt, it's one of them deals where they're handy, but a lot of the time they're just in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Like I said
You
I've
know, for
never
me, anyways.
yeah. Um I said I've never really used one much at all. Same way with a bullwhip. I know a lot of guys that carry a bullwhip on them quite a bit, and I think they're both cool. I've never used them either one of them much, and I don't have too much use for them, so I don't carry either one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty simple. I just like I said, kennel bag and a rope. That's about all. A hoof pick. I usually have a little carabiner clip with a hoof pick hanging off my back D, and that's that's kind of about it. What I carry on my saddle.
Yeah, I got a
Uh,
couple tie strings on my saddle, like 3 tie strings on my saddle.
yeah.
And
I broke my hobbles the other day, so I need to get a new set. But I usually have a set of hobbles hanging off
yeah,
off the back cinch.
Yeah, just a couple tie strings. I got a couple tie strings on my leggings I wear every day too, and they're just handy to have. Even if you got to tie a gate closed with, but
Yeah.
they can dang sure be overused.
Yeah. Yeah, I
They're
see a
not
lot.
overused. There's the guys that carry just what they need, right? And then the next guy that he's got like 40 of them hanging off the saddle. Jesus Christ, what do you plan on doing today with all those?
Like, yeah. How many are you gonna tie down?
Well, we might need them. I sure the fuck hope not.
Yeah, that's gonna be a long, shitty day. We're gonna use every one of those tie strings on your saddle.
Yeah, I mean, if you're riding with a crew of guy and each guy's got 2 to 3 tie strings on them, you're gonna have more than enough.
Yeah, like way more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's there yeah, there you can overdo it, but hey, to each their own. If that's what you like to pack, I don't care. It ain't my saddle.
Well, I mean, it's exactly right. You can pack what you want, but you know, if you look at the real handy guys and the guys that are doing it and every day and stuff, there's a reason why they pack only what they pack.
Yeah.
If you got, you know, 6, 7 tie strings hanging off the front of your saddle, um, I've been in a pickle with just 3 of them hanging off the front of my saddle. Riding a colt, if colt throws a wreck, anything can get tangled up in anything when you're roping, right? So, the more shit you got on your saddle, the more chances you're gonna wrap yourself up in it.
Yeah. That's 100% true. It's yeah, and the more stuff you put on your saddle is just the more shit that can get in the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, and also, I mean, like if I don't have a good use for it, I don't pack it because like I said, it's in the way. Like I don't know how to use a bullwhip hardly at all, and I just don't have much use for it. There's times where I think that'd be handy, but they're pretty few and far between. Where I think it'd be really handy to have a bullwhip right now. And so I don't carry one because more likely than not, is going to get like hung up on a gate rod or something and get ripped down. And then it's just like, fuck. Now I got to get down in the shit, pick up this damn bullwhip, and then also repair my saddle.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I view it. If I don't have good use for it, I'm probably not packing it with me.
No. I'm the same way.
Yeah, if I know I'm gonna need it that day, I'll tie something else on. But yeah, the more shit you got tied onto your saddle, the more the more likely you're gonna lose something or break something or get in a wreck or some combination of the above.
Yeah.
So I travel pretty light when I can.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. Just efficient and light, right?
Yep. Yeah, there's times where you gotta throw some other stuff on. Like if you gotta go out and fix fence, you gotta throw a stretcher or something on as well. But yeah, that's not my everyday carry. No,
No.
I travel pretty light. If I got much more than my wallet and my earbuds in my pants pockets, like I'm uncomfortable as shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything else is in my vest, and then yeah, saddle few things as possible. Like I said,
Yeah.
the less shit that can get hung up on something and cause a wreck, the better.
Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't take much. Hell, just me being on my horse, I can get myself hung up on a gate. I don't need a bunch of shit hanging off my saddle to help get me hung up. I'm good
Well,
enough with that on my own.
that's the same way if like you're riding through trees and shit too. It's like something just gets hung up, and it may not even cause a wreck, but it might be something that you really liked and you might need that gets hung up, and then you lose the damn thing because a tree snags on it or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if I don't have good reason to have it on, I don't take it.
Yeah.
As far as like the being professional, I think like you said, the tally book, that's a good thing, whether it's a tally book or just like making a physical note of something is that goes a long ways to show that you're paying attention anyways.
Yeah.
And
I mean, with looking professional too, just like how your stuff looks, right?
yeah. Yeah, like even if you can't afford really good gear, as long as it's in good shape, like
yeah, just take care of it. But if it's held together with baler twine and stuff, like, okay, well, you really don't care about your stuff. So why are you caring about the cattle, or are you just here because you can be?
yeah.
Or is it just a job to you?
Yeah. Yeah, taking care of your horses too. Like that's like
Wash them every day.
yeah. Yeah, that's typically we don't have that big of an issue with needing to wash every day cuz we're typically not that sloppy, but like yeah, it when your horses need a bath, they need a bath and
Yeah.
and keep them fed, keep them in good shape. Like I'd rather see them fat than skinny. That's
Oh yeah.
you can ride that fat off them pretty quick. It's a lot harder to put weight on them than it is to take it off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how like your feedlot is, but everyone I've been on so far, the feed's provided for you. Feed's here,
Yep.
right? You just have to put it in the pen. So
Yep.
if you got skinny horses, I mean, there's no need for that quit being fucking lazy
Yep. Exactly. Feed them.
and go feed your horse because it's free. It's at your disposal. You just got to get into a piece of equipment and go get it.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly. And sometimes that's also like if you're getting free feed, don't bitch about the quality. Like
Just feed more.
yeah, I mean you can bitch about it, but like until you go buy your own, like you ain't got much excuse to bitch. Like if it's provided, use what's there and feed the hell out of them. They'll pick through the shitty stuff and get what they'll. I mean, I don't know. I've and then typically it's not bad feed, but there's times where like I don't know that you get a bad bale, whatever. Like
Yeah.
fucking deal with it. It's free.
Yeah. Not every bale is going to be, the golden bale.
Yeah, and when you're, it doesn't matter unless you're working for a horse outfit. The horses are a tool. The cows are what makes the money. So they're worried about feeding the cows, and the horses are secondary. Like that's every outfit you're gonna work if you're punching cows. Like that's every outfit. The cows make the money, not the horses.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sometimes and the cows can eat a lot of shit that the horses can't. But
Yeah.
so you're gonna deal with some lower quality hay, and so don't bitch about it unless you're willing to go buy your own feed. Because until then, I mean, suck it up and feed it. It's
Exactly.
use the grain. They'll what they lack in the hay, you can make up for it in grain, and it just. But most of the time, it's going to be pretty decent feed. So just fucking feed it, man. Like
yeah, I mean, if you're working for a place that you're hired on as a cowboy and you're riding for them, I mean, like
they're usually going to have good feed.
Oh yeah,
it may not be like top shelf stuff, but it's going to be good feed. Your horses will do well on it.
Yeah, and the grain's there, so
yeah,
use it.
and just use it. Feed it. Keep keep your horses fat and or keep weight on them, and you can make them that they'll last you a lot longer if you keep weight on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as soon as they start getting skinny, they also start getting lame.
Yep.
And yeah, you keep weight on them, and they'll be fine. And yeah, and when that's part of the deal that they're providing, hey, fucking take them up on it. You know, if they're feed the hell out of them. You're using them. It's a fair trade.
Yep. Oh, exactly.
Yeah, it's there's no shame in that. You feed what's there, and you feed what you need. Like don't skimp on it. Like
No.
that's part of the deal. And
Yep.
that's the biggest, and more than even your rig. Like I look at your horses, and I don't care if they're your personal horses or if they're the company horses in your string. Like I look at the horses you're riding, and the better shape they are, the higher my opinion of you. And then you know, then once you get into the cattle side of things, it's always the death loss. Like it always comes down to the death loss. And you that's the name of the game is live cattle. So every dead one, that one hurts. So
Yep.
that's you there, the handling and whatnot, is that all plays a big part. But at the end of the day, it's the death loss.
Well, you got to keep the death loss down, right? Or you're not going to
Yep.
have a job very long, because they'll find somebody else, somebody that can
Mhm.
come in and do it.
Yeah, they don't care if they're not as good of a horseman as you. If his numbers are better, that's who's sticking around.
Yeah. And rightfully so, right? If you're going to
Wow.
be in this game, you know, do it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that is the whole name of the game, is to keep cattle alive.
Yeah.
And and for them to do well, to gain well, and because more pounds means more money.
Oh, yeah. So prove your value, right?
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, that at the end of the day, when whether you're taking care of if you're calving out cows, or if you're running stockers, yearlings, or you're in the feedlot, it all comes down to death loss. Like that's the main deal. Like the horsemanship and all that shit is secondary to that bottom line. So but it all plays into the death loss too. Like the better horseman you are, the less time you're spending tuning on your horse, and the more time you're out checking your cattle and doing what you need to be doing, and that leads to less death loss. And so like it all is very much intermingled until it push comes to shove. Whether you're keeping your job, it comes down to death loss.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, a lot of things with these feedlots too is, so many guys see it as a training opportunity. I get hired onto a feedlot, get paid, and I can ride colts at the feedlot. You can, yes. I know a lot of guys that do it. I do it quite a bit.
I do too.
But you have to be useful.
Yep.
Off them colts. If you can't do a damn thing off them colts, like, get them the fuck out of here.
Yep. That's
Bring
exactly
something in
right.
you can ride.
Right. Like, can you get the job done? Like that's the ultimate test of a horseman. Or like, we got a job to do. You're using a horse to do it. Like, can you do that job on the horse that you're on? If not, either get better or get a better horse. One of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of the times it's probably both, right?
Yep.
You know. And a lot of guys, I know some guys, I can ride him. It isn't very pretty, but I can ride him. Well, then why is he here? I mean, if it's not very pretty, you can't do a job off of him controlled.
Yep.
And handle cattle controlled, easy. We all know how cattle are. Wrecks happen. Things get heated. Things get going, even if you're riding a broke horse. But 99% of the time on that colt, things should be slow and controlled.
Yep. No, that's absolutely right. It's you get a lot of leeway when you're riding a colt, but if you can't get a job done, man, my patience kind of goes out the window pretty quick. I'll be pretty patient if you're if you're making progress on it. But if you're not any help at all, my patience wears pretty thin.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so I got like I said, I've rode a lot of colts in the feedlot. I've made good money doing it. But I don't ride them in the feedlot till they're ready. You know, like when they're ready to go do a job, then we'll go. I don't throw them in just first thing. You know, like
yeah.
especially if we got shit to do. Like it's slow time, that's fine. But like if you're getting on a fifth ride colt and we're gonna go grab a pin of fats to go ship. What the fuck, man? You like what the fuck?
Yeah. Catch your broke horse.
Yeah, like come on. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you might get through the day, but everybody else is picking up your slack.
Yeah. And you have that fifth ride colt or whatever kind of colt he is, and he doesn't know much. I mean, ride him. There's nothing saying you can't ride him for the first day or first morning. Well, I'm gonna try him. Gonna try him this morning or whatever. You know what?
Yeah.
We just weren't getting anywhere with them. Go to somebody on the crew that you ride with and be like, hey, after work, if you got an hour or two, I'll buy you a box of beer. We'll split a box of beer. We'll drink some beer. You know, can you help me ride around the feedlot on this colt, get some gates, get them figuring out things? And you do that for a week. You got that colt beat. Now take him and go to work.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's nothing wrong with riding a colt at the feedlot, but I'm saying like when you got shit to do first thing in the morning, get your broke horse. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with riding out on a colt and waiting for something to happen like that. That's fine, but do that when you're just riding out to go ride pins.
Yeah.
Don't do it when you're bringing cattle to the scale. That's it's a whole different deal. Like time is money at that point.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Like we got to go.
Yeah. So yeah, be mounted correctly. That's always a good one. Just be mounted correctly. know your horses, know the situation, and if you're gonna ride a piss head. Like I said, let people know too. Like, hey, I'm riding a piss head. I'm not going to be too much help here, but make sure you do that on days when you don't need, like, absolutely have to get shit done.
Yeah, like I rode a lot of dinks on the community pasture, and I just kind of look at what the guys were catching that morning. If a couple of the guys were catching their broke horse, well, I'd catch a colt.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm getting on this colt today. I'll try and do my best, but I might be a lot of help. I might be no fucking help. I don't know what's going to happen.
And if you're riding a colt, be prepared to work the ground.
Yeah.
Like get you a good McCarty or a good get down, whatever it is, but like make sure you can keep your horse with you, because if you're riding a colt and there's some roping to be done, more often than not, you're going to be the dude on the ground, and just be prepared for that and know that's the deal.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about your horse pulling away from you, well, fuck, get a better horse.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Teach him to lead a little better.
Yep. Or hobbles, one way or the other, but
I'm to a tree. Like, figure it out.
Yeah, figure it the fuck out, man. But like, if you're the one riding the colt, the onus is on you to keep up.
Yeah,
that's kind of the deal, That's yeah. When you're riding, when you're not properly mounted, it's on you to keep up.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And not just keep up, like, I don't know, I was always taught when you're riding a colt, like, if you're riding with a group of guys and you're on that colt and everybody's on a broke horse, well, you best be beating everybody to that gate and getting the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're getting all the gates if you're sitting on a colt, because that's what that colt needs.
Yep.
He needs miles and just everything, on and off, on and off.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. There's anything you can do to spook them when you're in control is better. You know, like the horse Karens will bitch about it, and whatever, but no, it's good for them to just get over quick movements. And some of them
Yeah.
never do get over it, but like the more they're around it, they're less explosive about it.
Yeah, they some of them will just, they'll kind of jump here and there. They'll tolerate a lot of things, right? But they're still like your skitty, jumpy horse.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's like it sucks to be a colt for a while because you're just throwing a lot of shit at them because eventually they're going to see it and they're going to need to know how to handle it. It's like they should be kind of halfway frazzled up by the end of the day. But
yeah,
for good reason. Like not you don't frazzle them just to frazzle them. You just like, oh, here's a chance where like I'm getting off and I might have kicked my slicker or something, and that could set them off. So here, why not we get that out of the way? Here's my slicker. Here it is. It's attached. Get over yourself. Whatever. Now we're on with the day. By the end of the day, they're gonna be their brain's gonna be a little bit fried, but that's a good thing. Like you don't want to overdo it, but like you expose them to shit that they're gonna see on a normal day, and allow them to get over it.
Oh yeah, and like just ride them. So many people get locked into riding these colts. So I got to train them on. Got to train on them. Got to teach them something. You don't got to teach them shit. Just ride them.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna learn more from you just sitting up there and riding them, like Tommy would say. Ride them like they're made.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, and just go do a job on them. Like that's the biggest thing. Just go do a job. and yeah, it's all a big learning process for them. And the better. And it's always why the more experienced guys are the better horsemen because they've been around and they know how, this doesn't work that way. And so now you have the experience going in like, here's how I'm going to approach this situation on a horse as opposed to this way where that ended me up in a wreck and it wasn't good for anybody. Here's how we're going to set it up. And so that's why your more experienced guys are always better because they've got more experience.
And being the broke guys, being the guys that are riding the broke horses on the crew, I mean, some level of responsibility sets on you too, riding them with them guys that are riding colts. I mean, there's things you do and you do not do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if everybody's riding broke horses, you can ride away from the gate when you please. But if somebody's on a colt, you wait for them.
Like, you let them get in the middle of them and get set before you leave.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, there's all that's where the I guess what do they call it? Not the
etiquette, right?
Etiquette. I was thinking ethics, but etiquette, yes. And it's not just because somebody says this is how it's supposed to be done. No, it's just like because there's a common sense application to it.
Yeah.
And and yeah, that's one of those where it's like, yeah, if you're a guy's on a colt, don't leave him.
Yeah.
Because that colt's gonna want to follow all the other horses, and yeah, don't leave him. Let it make sure he's got a halt before we leave.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just you gotta look out for your buddies because you need them when you need them. You need them, and you gotta. At the end of the day, you're all supposed to ride into camp together.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's that the etiquette is important. Like there are some really ticky tacky things that don't make a whole lot of sense, but like the big ones, like don't ride off from a gate. Don't get out ahead of the boss. Like make sure you can see the next guy. The next guy in the circle. Make sure you've got sight of him. Like that's like all that stuff is for a reason. And lot of guys get hung up in the really ticky tack bullshit, but it's a lot of it is just like the boss knows where you're going. Like you gotta watch out for the guy next to you because they're also watching out for you. And yeah, you don't get out ahead. You don't come charging through the bunch. You know, it just there's all things that are there for a reason, and they're designed to not cause a wreck or to cause as few wrecks as possible because you're dealing with wild snorting animals and shit can pop off at any any given time.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't matter who you are or how long you've been doing this. Like, you have cut somebody off or you have cut somebody's gather off and just been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I mean, shit is going to happen, but like, if you can avoid that, by all means, avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah, for you younger guys, the biggest thing you're going to learn for, you know, until you get established and start to making a hand, biggest thing you can keep in the back of your mind is try not to be in the way. If nothing else, go sit on the fence for a minute and watch and see what's happening and try to figure it out from a bird's eye view. But like the biggest thing is just try to stay out of the way.
Yeah, and be aware, right?
Yeah.
Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what's going on, because you get into the crowds, or a gather is pretty easy to be aware of what's going on.
Yep.
Up in the country, I ride in the summertime. It's pretty easy to cut somebody off.
Yeah.
Up here, because it's just all swamp and bush, and a lot of the times, you'll make a gather, and you won't see anybody for all morning.
Yeah.
And so you'll be following a group of cows through the trees, and then all of a sudden you just cut somebody off. And it's not that you're trying to do it; you're just following cows, getting them to where you're going.
Yeah.
And there they popped out. So I mean, but if you're out in the open and not paying attention, I mean, give your head a shake.
Yeah. No, and like it just depends on the outfit, but the biggest thing is like you don't have to be in the right place all the time. You just try not to be in the wrong place.
And if you see if you're in the wrong place, like get the hell out of the way.
Yeah. Like I said, you don't have to be in the right place. At that point, the right place is not where you are. Like somewhere besides where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, when my first several years like that's I was just always trying to make sure I was not in the wrong place. And then eventually, like you realize where the right place is, and then more often than not, then you end up being in that spot when you're supposed to be there. But it takes some ass chewings and getting run over and shit, to learn all that too. I mean, it's just
it does.
You're gonna fuck up. It's gonna happen.
Does. You're gonna get cussed on.
Yeah, but typically, like, they don't mean much. Like, if they keep cussing you afterwards, then you might have an issue. But like, in the heat of the moment, shake that shit off.
Yeah, you got to be fairly thick-skinned, right? In the heat of the moment, the boss cussing on you. He's not. I mean, yeah, he's mad at you in the heat of the moment, but he's not holding anything against you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to take that back to the barn and pout about it.
Right.
Like, he cussed you out 5 minutes ago. He's over it now.
Yeah. Oh, and then it's a good opportunity to learn how to make fun of yourself too. Like, when you can make a joke about how you fucked up, that goes a long way with the whole crew, because at least they know you're aware, and also that you got thick skin about it.
Yeah. And just be prepared. Like, when you do fuck up, I mean,
it might take a while to live it down, depending on how bad you fucked up.
Yeah, there's gonna be some hackling happening.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on the fuck up and how funny it was. Because even if it was a small fuck up, but it was funnier and shit, you're never living that down. Like, it just it all it all depends on the severity of it and then the hilarity of it. Like if the funnier it is, the less likely you're gonna live it down.
Yeah. Yeah, but if it keeps happening over and over again, then the cussing ons they might start getting a little bit more frequent, and they might start to mean something.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, and as guys figure out that you're learning, like if you're learning from those mistakes, then the more likely they are to give you some friendly advice.
Yeah.
And be careful who you take friendly advice from.
Yeah. Yeah. Friendly advice sometimes can get you into trouble.
Yeah, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not, unintentionally, but yeah, it's I don't know, but like the more you learn from those ass chewings, the more likely guys are to actually help you. I mean, I know a lot of guys, they ain't gonna help you until they at least know you're willing to try.
Yeah. Well, you got to be willing to try, right? If you're not willing to try, you're in the wrong business.
Yep. And well, and that's the thing is like you gotta prove that shit to people before they'll help you out. But not everybody, but there's a lot of guys out there like that, and I don't think that part's gonna change because
No.
it's the end of the day, it is a pretty dangerous job. You're riding an 800 to 1,200-1,300 pound beast to chase around another 800 to 2,000 pound beast and get them to go where you want them to go, do what you want them to do. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of a tough job at times. So
It is.
and it lends itself to a lot of wrecks because it's so unpredictable what can happen. You generally know what's gonna happen about that day, but shit can go haywire real quick because you're dealing with animals, and there's a lot of guys that are like, nah, I don't want any part of some new guy because I've been on the receiving end of too many wrecks. I don't want that shit again.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot with good reason, a lot of guys that don't give you a shot until they know that you're kind of worth a shit, and
Yeah.
Is it the right thing? Probably not, but I don't blame them for it.
No, I don't blame him for it neither, right? Like pasture calving, whatever you're doing, there's work to do. Like we're on a time schedule, right? We got to get shit done. And we can't always be training somebody,
Yeah. No, and the older I get, the more I feel like that too. And I always hate when I think that way because I was a young dumbass kid that didn't know shit either. At one point, but yeah, also like this is how I make my fucking money, dude. Like let's go. And so I try to be even tempered with any of the new guys, particularly the younger ones. But at some point, like I always feel like if you're not taking my advice, I don't give advice that I that I don't think is good when it comes to my job. I give advice that I think is sound.
Yeah.
And if I see you're not taking it, man, fucking keep up because I'm done trying. Like if you're that dumb and you can't take advice, I don't know, man. I'm gonna quit trying. But I got a job to do, so fucking keep up.
Yeah.
And
well, I've worked for the guys. I worked for guys like that, and if you stop taking your advice, then they will put you into a position where they will put you into a position to get into a wreck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if you're not going to listen to them, they're going to put you in a bad spot and not even help you and go, you better weather this storm out on your own.
Well, yeah, or they're not going to help you fix a fuck up. They'll be like, all right, fucking deal with it. That was you.
Yeah.
This was you because I warned you about this. I gave you this advice. I kept saying, hey, here's how you do this. Here's how you do, and you disregarded all of that, and now we have this big fucking wreck. And that's not my fault. That's fucking yours. Go fix it. You know? And I've done that plenty of times because I'm like, fuck, man. If you would have just listened, this is so preventable. And and so yeah, I'm if you're learning from as you go and you're taking advice from guys that know and gals that know what they're talking about, you'll be fine. You know?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you caused a wreck and you were actually trying, you just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, wreck fucking sucks. But the crew will trot back out with you to help you fix the wreck.
Right. Yeah, it gets like when you got to go fix something yourself, that's when you know you fucked up, and you better learn from that situation because you're probably on pretty thin ice.
Yeah. You know, we've had some wrecks on that community pasture where cattle have busted through the fence and got a big mix up and get the mix up dealt with. It's like 7 o'clock at night, but there's 2 hours of fencing to do before dark.
Yeah.
We have rode back to the barn and grabbed all the fencing tools and threw them at the front of the bike. Just laid them in front of the bike. There's the fence and shit. You know where the fence is broke. Go fucking fix it.
Yep.
Well, you're not coming with me? Fuck no.
Nope.
No, you got yourself into this. You get yourself out.
Go fucking fix it. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah. And if you know you caused it, like if somebody gets you to that point and if you know you're in the wrong, you better go fucking fix it. If not, you be prepared to quit because either they're railroading you or something. But like no, like if that was your fuck up, go fucking fix it.
Yeah, and fix it right. Don't go out there and half-ass do it. Go out, fix it right.
Yeah,
carry on. Tomorrow's a new day.
Prove that you're worth a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Everybody fucks up. Everybody has a wreck. It's just how you handle it. Like, was it something that you shouldn't have done? Well, obviously, yes, because there's a wreck. But did you know about it? Do you know why this happened? And was it the first time, or is this like a multiple recurring incident? If that's the case, like fucking reevaluate your life. What are you doing wrong? Because that's the biggest thing is when you got to sort at the end of the day when that wasn't on the schedule, that tends to piss people off. When you got to fix fence, that will piss any cowboy off. Because
or you got to go rope a big old Charlet bull because some dumb kids blue heeler fucking dog chased them through the fence and a mile away.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Shit like that. Like, was it something that you did, or was it because you didn't know, or was it something that you did because you're a fucking idiot? Like, yeah. I don't know. There's I'm not gonna be the old guy that talks about how like back in my day, because back in my day we were still stupid. I feel like we worked a little bit harder, but we were dumb as fuck back then too.
Oh, still.
Like we were dumb as shit. And
still, I get some bright ideas. And
I know.
The bright idea, like the plan in your head, you're like, this is gonna work. This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna work. You get halfway through your plan, and you're like, huh. That part worked real well. And the boss looks at you and goes, well, what do we do now? And you're like, I have no idea. I didn't think we were going to get this far, to be honest with you.
You know, and I, when I see some of these younger guys that are just kind of lazy and like, it annoys the shit out of me, yes. But also like, I also don't put it fully on that kid because like, my old man would not allow me to be that fucking lazy, you know? Like he did not let me be that lazy. And I don't know how many times there's guys I really look up to, like the hardest working dudes, and then you see their kids and they're just lazy as fuck, and you're just like, Ah, man, what happened there? You know, and
Yeah.
you see it a lot, and I don't know what the exactly the deal is, but it's at some point you know it comes down to the kid if if he just continues to be lazy, like right off the bat, like all these fucking kids are lazy. Not it's I don't think it's all their fault. I think a lot of it has to do with their fucking parents, but either way, at some
Well,
point,
a lot of it, I think what has to do with it is just society now in general.
yeah, that too. Yeah, people are just fucking soft. I mean, we are so soft compared to like say 5 generations ago. We are so soft compared to them.
Oh yeah.
But I man, this like latest generation, my God, I've never seen a softer bunch of people in my life. And
Yeah, it really makes you wonder about society right now, don't it?
well, and you know, those kids just didn't turn out that way. You know, like there was a lot of shit that went into them being such pussies. Like it wasn't they didn't just like they weren't born just like I'm gonna be a giant pussy my entire life. You know, like there was a lot of environmental shit that went around into that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like you see less of it in the ag world, but I mean it's still pretty prevalent.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's funny like when you're talking to people in the city that are like running restaurants and grocery stores and shit, like the level of lazy they have to deal with nowadays is fucking retarded. I mean, just oh,
Oh
like it doesn't fly in the ag world still. Like there's some lazy motherfuckers in you know in the whole agriculture community, but like compared to an urban environment, holy shit. Like we don't have a clue how lazy they are.
no, not one bit.
Entitled too. God damn, they're just it's funny like they used to think the union guys were entitled because they only wanted to work 10 hours a day. And now now these guys are asking for like a mental health day every like 2 weeks or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, you know, we gotta go talk about our feelings.
I mean, I mean if you can get somebody to pay you for that, I guess more power to you. But hey, yeah, I wouldn't feel right doing it.
Well, and where does it stop, right?
Ah, yeah, that's the thing. It's fucking
You
crazy,
know,
but
one year it's this, the next year it'll be this, the next year it'll be something different, and people won't even go to work.
I know. Well, and then shit just doesn't get made, and then like everybody starves. You know.
Yeah.
It's yeah, fucking crazy, fucking crazy. I could take a leak. What should we call that for the main episode? We'll come back, do a little Patreon bonus.
Sounds good, man.
All right. Well, Tuffy, where can they find you at?
You
Podcast,
can
all that
find
shit.
you can find me Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, and just go to Facebook and look up You Can't See Them from the Road, and there will be.
Hell yeah. I would I'm normally wearing the 3/4 zip, but it finally warmed up, so I don't need it. So now you need some t-shirts or something.
And we're working on that.
Shit yeah. Shit yeah. It's gonna
We're
be
working
hot
on
in
that.
this studio before I know it, so I'm not gonna be able to wear sweatshirts and stuff. But anyway, go follow Tuffy. Go subscribe to him on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen. Go follow him. Check out check out the Patreon if you want to hear the rest of this. Patreon.com/Burnin Daylight. And yeah, for Tuffy Gamble, I'm Matt McKinley. Move your ass. We're Burnin Daylight.
Adios.
You rise up in the morning beneath Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horse is kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. We'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Just a gather, and you won't catch 'em all. But when you ride through the gate, make sure you sit up tall. I can see the horizon, it's looking pretty bright. Well, get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right.